acting as if and living in the end, and how this is essentially sabotaging a lot of your manifestations, because faking it, being delusional, which I'm sure many of you have come across before, that seems to be used synonymous with acting as if, doesn't fool the field of consciousness. Think about it for a moment, because I know you guys are extremely intelligent in this community. You get this, right? But just think about this. If you have to fake it, then it's not yours. However, if it is yours, then it cannot be faked. It's true though, isn't it? When you really start to question these things. You see, your energy tells the truth way before your mouth does. And this is why literally acting as if is keeping many of your manifestations at bay. Because acting as if and living in the end the way that it's been taught, you would have seen it echoed throughout the community in forums and videos all day long. But the fact of the matter is that many people do not understand what it actually is about. I think meaning has been lost when you keep hearing something over and over again. You don't really think and stop and think to question what is the truth of it. Because acting as if is, in the way that many of you are practicing it, based on what you've told me, based on what my clients have told me, that version of acting as if is actually deepening. It's deepening your very belief that you don't already have what you want. And think of it this way, the world is not going to change just because you're acting as if it should. The world changes when your consciousness declares without any effort or force that it already is the case, it's already done. Now, many of you have been acting as if, or have come across it, methods and techniques that have told you to swim in abundance, even though you've got that kind of dreaded grip every time you check your bank balance. Or many of you are performing the role of being happily married or in a blissful relationship with your specific person, and you're only to be met with that regular deafening silence of your phone, or just the sharp pangs of their absence still playing in your heart and your mind. I know that many of you are diligently following the advice you're given, but you've got these little sort of nagging voices in your head that's saying to you, well, no, you're lying to yourself. Who are you trying to fool? You know, you just look like this is just delusional. This is just ridiculous. How many of you have been in that situation? I get this all the time from you guys. And so that's why I thought it's important to make a video to help all of you to see that, listen, if acting as if, the way you're practicing it, if it feels, I don't know what it is about bees lately. They've been drawn to me. I don't mind them. It's the wasps that I cannot stand. But where was I? I mean, if acting as if, essentially, if it feels really uncomfortable, exhausting, inauthentic, trust me, you are not alone, and it's not because you're doing anything wrong, right? It's just that your internal, you could say, intuition is saying to you that something's off here, that the popular interpretation of this powerful principle has been dangerously oversimplified and distorted to such a point that it's causing a lot of you to just keep on sabotaging yourselves. It's causing you unnecessary stress. So this is the aim of my video today. If you can stay with me on this and actually learn what I'm teaching you, because you know that we always go deep into my videos, by the time I'm done with you, you are going to understand the profound differences between acting as if and then the modern trap of delusion and faking it. And I'll bring into it as well about people with schizophrenia as well, if you're curious too, and obviously people who suffer with delusions. We're also going to go into the key that unlocks your authentic power of creation by helping you to understand the true meaning of embodiment in a way that you've never ever heard before. That's right, I'm going to share it with you. And I was pondering over this for a while, that I really want to share embodiment, because we say it all the time: identify as a person who already has it, live as though you have it now, embody the state, right? I mean, what does that even mean anymore? Okay, so I'm going to teach you in a way that all of you are going to be able to relate to. So stick with me, it's important. And I'm going to show you how to do it without gaslighting yourself. You're not going to feel fake. It's the mentally healthy, natural way of moving you from a state of stressful pretense to one of empowered reality shaping. And all I ask from all of you guys is that you just sit back, relax, stay a while, and closely listen to what I have to say here, because it's going to change everything, and you're not going to fall back into the trap of delusion and discomfort. Everything I share, as you guys know, it's not just coming from theory or my, interpretations. Yes, I've been studying this for, I don't even want to say it now, because I'm losing track. I think it's roughly like 24 years or something, but yeah, roughly 24 years now. God, makes me feel old. No, I don't feel old. I feel young and youthful. I do, actually. I don't feel my age, but 20 odd years, of like immersed, deep, esoteric study. And as well that I combine the understanding of the mind and understanding how the human mind works as well with my years of integration of, is that B again? Integrating neuro-linguistic programming, hypnosis, cognitive behavioral psychology as well into my practices, into my videos. This is why so many of you who stick around, who listen, who get this in this community, those of you who subscribe to this community, like I say, I keep saying it because that's an intention I'm keeping strong, you will get success, and you actually are. Success rates are really, really high. I'm getting more of your incredible stories, some of them almost, like I said, miraculous. You guys inspire me. Please keep sharing your successes, because we go deeper than the surface level spirituality. We're going into more of a strategic, soulful and psychological approach. And also, again, I have to really appreciate that you guys keep on telling me that you're obtaining so much information, so many juicy gems, that many of you have spent thousands on coaching and courses, and you've never been able to obtain the kind of information that I'm sharing freely here. So thank you for sharing that with me, because I really appreciate those sorts of compliments. Grab yourself a hot drink, sit back. This video is going to be filled with juicy gems I want you to collect. And if you will, just jot them down. Start writing down the things that really resonate, and please do it in the comments section below. I want to see what resonated. I want to see what things have stuck in your mind. What have I taught you here that you perhaps never heard of before, or maybe you've heard of it before but it didn't click before? Share it, because it helps me, but it also helps the community as well. That's what we're here to support each other. We're a family. So cheers everyone, happy Friday. No flies this time, which thank God, because I'm actually kind of thirsty. So the reason why I was inspired to do this video for a while, actually, because many of you come to me, you say, I've been acting as if, I've been living in the end, but this has been happening with my SP. And I often ask people, okay, what do you mean when you say you're acting as if or living in the end? And it sort of varies from, I've had people state that they have changed their screensavers to a picture of them and their SP, or they're wearing a wedding ring and pretending and acting like they are married. We had a client on my, she's in the Discord community as well, and she was telling us about how she was taught by a coach that she had a while back that in order to manifest abundance and financial abundance, and that she had to keep her old business running. So this old business was unsuccessful, it was failing. She desired to close it all off, but she was advised to keep it running, because that shows that she's staying in the state of being a businesswoman, and that she can keep on paying the bills on it, keep on running up the taxes and the subscriptions, just keep paying it in order to be in a state of abundance. So she really thought that was something that she had to do, right? Because an abundant person would have the money to keep it running, would not be questioning it. But the thing is, she didn't want her business, and it was costing her money, which meant that it was causing her stress. It's money that she didn't have to just throw around. And she's following this advice thinking it's going to change the situation and get her on the path of her dream career. Of course, surprise, surprise, it didn't, because you don't manifest wealth and abundance by spending money that you don't have. What you're meant to do is you're meant to become wealthy on the inside and associate and identify with that, ceasing to identify with scarcity. That's the main thing, right? I'm not identifying with scarcity, but I'm not being crazy delusional, spending the money that I don't really have right now. And when she learned this, when she actually understood what I'm about to teach you all today, deep dive, she managed to close that business down And she was able to pursue her preferred career goals. And that meant setting up a new business. And she found a business partner, which she said out of the blue, I believe, hun, you didn't have to, it was no effort to even find this business partner. It's like they found her. And now things are flowing beautifully and starting to expand from that place of mindset of abundance rather than this physical attempt to keep abundance. Because think about it, pretending to be rich or pretending to be in a relationship or anything like that, but pretending to be rich, for example, is simply poverty in disguise. But who are you disguising from? The universe is going to see through that, right? You can't be in a state of abundance and then be worrying all the time about bills being a constant source of anxiety for you, right? You're going to try and project the energy of being adored with your specific person. I know many of you are trying to do that, right? But every interaction that you're having or lack of interaction is just feeling more like a powerful reminder of what's missing, and it hurts you. Then you keep lying to yourself, gaslighting yourself, making yourself feel delusional, saying these statements to yourself or to your friends that you're married, that you're happy, that everything is okay, when deep down it isn't okay. I don't feel okay. You see, acting as if you're in love is not going to make you magnetic. It's going to make you miserable if underneath it you still believe and embody an identity of being unlovable based on old traumas that you might have had since childhood. I mean, how many of you resonate with this? Please, please let me know. I want to know how you're feeling. I want to know what's going on in your minds and in your hearts. Comment and share with the community, because I want you all to come together as a community, as a collective, as a family here to see you're not alone. You're not alone, and there is power in numbers. So let's get this straight. Manifestation, it never has been and never was about pretending your current reality away. It was never about that. It's about reprogramming the self to reflect what the world cannot yet see. You're reprogramming the self to reflect what the world cannot yet see. You know, I always say to you guys, never ever ignore your 3D reality. Consciousness is not going to bloom in a place of denial, right? Just because we're denying it, it doesn't mean that things are going to change. Like I said, it's still very much there. It blooms in truth. So it's about knowing that your desire is already yours in the realm that shapes everything, i.e. your consciousness. Now, Neville Goddard said it best, and I love this quote from Neville. Always gave me peace of mind, so you might want to jot this down. But Neville Goddard said it best when he said that essentially you are everything that you want to be. You are everything that you want to be. And your refusal to believe it is the only reason that you do not see it. Your refusal to believe it is the only reason that you do not see it. You already have everything, okay? So this constant internal battle, this feeling of being like an imposter in your own desired life is often the direct result of what a lot of us in psychology would call cognitive dissonance. And I've shared with you what this means before. Holiday makers. One day, one day without fear, I'll be on one of those. But cognitive dissonance, I've mentioned this before too. This is really familiar for a lot of you, right? It's a really deeply uncomfortable, like soul level stress that you have that's sort of erupting every time your actions and your words and that are in genuine conflict with what's going on internally within you. You know, it's in conflict with your moment to moment feelings and your current perceived reality. This is why sometimes people who are using affirmations really, really do experience that sense of cognitive dissonance, and the same sometimes when you're scripting as well, or the same sometimes when you're imagining too. Sometimes you can really feel it if you're not going into it with the right mindset, the right understanding. That's why I say to you guys, it's not about techniques. Don't be looking for the next technique, the next hack. If you don't know why you're doing, what it's for, the purpose or the understanding behind it, then you're going to seek out 1,000,001 techniques, fill your days with them, and still get nowhere. You see, the truth is, it's not really anyone's fault. I think that the teachings have over time just gotten dangerously oversimplified. It's an oversimplified version of a profound spiritual mechanics. The path of faking it, think about faking it, what does that say to you? It's inauthenticity, isn't it? And the universe is not stupid. It's not listening to your words or what you're saying. It's listening to your energy. It's listening to your heart and mind coherence. It's speaking to it right now. God speaks in identity. I am that I am. I am that I am. It's not a phrase, but a frequency, a state. So if your energy at the moment is one of stress and pretense, then that's the signal that you're going to be broadcasting, no matter how positively you're talking or affirming yourself to be. What do you feel at the core though? What's the feeling behind the things that you're doing or saying? Does it feel fake and forced, or does it feel quite natural? Remember, you're not the clay. You are the potter. And until you remember this, you're going to keep on mistaking form for truth. Everything that's out here, you're going to mistake as the truth rather than everything within you. And most of the time, and I can't blame you, like most of the time, even myself, we're not always going to be aware of the kind of signals that we're giving off. I mean, this is why I have to analyze everything. I analyze everything. Those of you who have worked with me, you know, I type so many notes on what my clients are saying, because behind their often brave words and sometimes a strong facade of, yep, I'm not going to contact them first, and no, I feel pretty good, and that sometimes behind that is lurking an array of contradictions that I can pick up on. The shifts in their language and their tonality tells me a lot about where their subconscious mind is actually at. The fact that actually that's coming from a place of fear, not power. Actually, did you notice you contradicted yourself here? This is what you truly, truly think. And this is where the resentment is coming from. This is where the blocker is. Because reprogramming at the core identity level, it might very well take you more than a few thousand affirmations or acting Delulu for a week, or, you know what I mean? It might take you a bit more than some of the surface level work to embody a new identity that at the moment feels completely foreign to you. You've been occupying the identity that you have currently. Please don't rain. Well, you've been identifying like your current identity. Many of you have had a lot of the core traits of it since childhood. So when you're stepping into a new state, you can understand how you are going to have a little bit of a strange discomfort or disconnect. In the beginning, that might feel like it's the case. But please, please don't feel defeated if you've been at this for a while and you're still feeling that disconnect, because some of the common approaches, they're just not getting to the core, and they weren't really meant to. That's why you're meant to go deeper with things like hypnosis or meditation, deeper structured imaginal acts or modalities of therapy even can be a game changer. For me, the modalities of therapy and hypnosis were the absolute game changer. That's why I use it on my clients. That's why I studied it, because this is the depth of understanding that can often get missed. And quite frankly as well, I mean, it's why many of the coaches in the community who have perhaps not studied psychology and that, my fellow coaches and colleagues, as I consider them to be in many cases, they're reaching out to me and they're actually sending their clients, and many of you have said to me, you've been sent from so-and-so, you know, they're sending their clients my way. If this person is, for example, deeply entrenched in patterns of struggle, or they're individuals who have got layers of trauma or psychological blocks that the more surface level work just cannot touch, because at a certain point you realize that this true transformation that all of us are trying to achieve, it's about a fundamental rewiring of your internal landscape. And sometimes that is going to require a more profound or a nuanced approach. That's why I say experiment with a few things. If it doesn't give you the change after a couple of repetitions or whatever, then leave it alone or try something else, and just don't be disheartened by it. Now, I want to dismantle some common misinterpretations, like the advice to act as if. I realize that it's commonly been misinterpreted to get you to think or to believe that you've got to perform something, like some external out of alignment actions, essentially. You know, so when you look at teachings like, I'll go back to Neville Goddard again, you can see that it's been taught in a radically different manner. Because Neville was a titan at this stuff, and his work is getting like I said, very oversimplified, because what he emphasized was the power of imagination and what he called spiritual sensation. Neville taught, and I quote, albeit maybe not verbatim, but he said, everything that you do unaccompanied by an imaginal change is but futile readjustment. Everything you do unaccompanied by an imaginal change is but futile readjustment, or readjustment of surfaces. Readjustment of surfaces. I need to remind myself. Futile readjustment of surfaces. That's it. The surfaces, right? We're not looking for the superficial. The divine is not going to reward you based on your efforts. It's going to reward you based on your remembrance. Remember, you're everything now. It's just that you've forgotten. So you're reminding yourself, you're essentially not creating anything. Creation is finished. Everything is within you. You're accessing, you're choosing, you're deciding. And when Neville spoke of living in the end, or assuming the wish having been fulfilled, what he was doing was he was pointing you towards an internal imaginal act and getting you to enter that feeling, that state of consciousness where your wish essentially has already become a completed fact, albeit within your imagination. But imagination is the powerhouse. And what you do is you step into that, and it takes on the tones of reality for you. It impresses upon you in that moment. You've got to think of the imaginal act as not some sort of fantasy or like a technique I have to do to get something, but a way of accessing a seed from the field of eternity. How about thinking of it like that? I'm accessing a seed from the field of eternity, and I want to plant that into fertile ground, into my subconscious mind, where it's going to be expressed. So it's not about pretending to have anything right now. That only deepens the internal conflict that so many of you have been feeling. And those of you, like I say, who have been saying, I'm in a loving relationship right now with my specific person, but I'm happily married. Or maybe you're not dating because you're feeling like you're cheating on your specific person. Or maybe you're spending money you don't have, or you're telling people you're wealthy and abundant when really you're in loads of debt. You're going to be feeling the discomfort of the delusion, and you've got to ask yourself, like, well, but why am I doing that? I never did things like that before. That's how I see it. You've all been manifesting this whole time. When did you go around lying to everyone all the time and telling them you were driving a Ferrari when you weren't, right? Even when I was manifesting everything in my life, but even like my SPs or my home or whatever it was, I didn't tell my friends and family, yes, I live in this house, before I'd even purchased it. I didn't go around saying, yes, my SP is back, before it even happened. Instead, I would say things like, when they come back. Oh, but I know they're going to come back when they come back. And that's how I was talking, because I know many of you are worried about, how should I speak should I be like, yes, I have it now, I am it now? No. Be normal. Speak normally. Yes, when I get this, or yes, this is my goal. That's what I said about this house. It was like, but I can't see myself anywhere else. Even though I got rejected, they turned down the offer because I didn't have enough money. I was like, yeah, but I can't see myself anywhere else. I refuse to see myself anywhere else. I was looking at other places and houses, and I was like, I can't see myself here. I keep occupying this house. I can see myself decorating it. I can see people visiting me, but I didn't tell everybody I own this house now, and I blatantly didn't. You see, what is meant truly when you're acting as if is accessing that inner shift, a change in your dominant state of awareness. This is the understanding, actually, that many esoteric traditions, from Hindu Vedas to Upanishads, they speak of Turiya, a transcendent state of pure awareness. And everyone shares that consciousness is primary. All of these ancient texts, if you read them, consciousness is primary. It's the very foundation and architect of our perceived reality. That's what it is. In the beginning was consciousness, right? As Neville stated as well, as a man moves in the world, that is nothing more or less than his consciousness objectified. Again, not verbatim, but as you move around in the world, this is your consciousness objectified. That's why everyone and everything is self-pushed out. So let's go into something that's quite fascinating, because I think a few people have asked me this, and this again is what prompted me to make this video. You know, this whole thing about like delusion, okay, or faking it, right? So it's got many of you feeling fake and forcing it. And so now many of you have been making an attachment and a connection to people, say, with clinical psychosis, schizophrenia. So how is it that their delusions, like they're really believing in their delusions and their visions, right? So how is it that that's not manifesting into the physical world? Like I know someone with schizophrenia, he's convinced he's having conversations with Darth Vader, but of course, why isn't that materializing, right? Or another one I knew who was really convinced that he was being tracked by aliens, okay? So this is the key difference as well, which that's hopefully going to help you to understand why delusion, pretending, or you know what I mean, why this chaos isn't manifesting. This is another reason why intrusive, fearful, scattered thoughts do not manifest either, right? So clinical delusion is uncontrolled, and it's often a very chaotic mental state. Think about it. It's like it's a misfiring of the brain that disconnects someone from this consensual reality. However, manifestation or conscious assumption is a much more disciplined act of focus awareness, and it's rooted in coherence, not confusion. So in that sense, it's intentional, not reactive. So a person who is lost in delusion, for example, is not choosing the belief. The belief is actually what's choosing them. But when you enter in your state of the wish fulfilled, you are making a conscious agreement with a new identity and connecting with a new identity. I'm not identifying as someone with a mental illness, perhaps. I'm identifying as a person with wealth, a person being loved, being chosen, and it takes a sense of focus. That's why we say about where your attention goes, the energy goes to it, and then it grows, right? So you're maintaining that state now from a place of inner peace, not a place of inner turmoil, and that's the difference. Does that help to clarify? I hope so. I'm uncovering a lot of stuff here with you guys, as I always do, and I love that you guys stay and listen. You've been learning so much. Like I said, this is why my client yesterday, essentially what she was telling me was an absolute miracle. I was like, you know, you've already got this to a T, girl, like literally just from watching this stuff. And I think many of the big names, like I say, they've been sharing it with their clients. They've been telling their clients to come to me if they require some deeper dive work. And I love you guys, because you guys have got my back. I know we're a family here, and I really appreciate you supporting me and looking out for me, because I know you were saying as well that some people are now starting to copy my work and the stuff I'm putting in my videos and that. And you know what? I'm just really flattered. Don't feel like you have to tell them off or anything like that. The way that I take it is thank you. We're all working together on this. And really, the important thing is getting the message out there in a really authentic way. That's all that matters. I just want the authentic teachings to get out there, because that's what's important. I don't want you guys to be destroyed by manifestation. This is something I'm passionate about. It changed my life. I got so much out of it. I'm not just talking about the physical attainment of things, but everything that's changed and grown within my life. And I want you guys to have this gift, but I don't want it to come at the cost of your mental well-being. So if people are cutting through the superficial stuff now and they're sharing more of a profound truth as to what this actually is all about, then I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that. Long may it continue. So let's talk about embodiment now, and how to embody the state in a way that is healthy and natural and not delusional. And I'm going to do that by sharing with you something that every single one of you have been through, because then it's just truly going to click. You're going to relate to it. Okay, so you're with me? So think of a time, and I think we've all been here, or at least majority of us have, that you've gone for a job interview. And it went incredibly, right? The conversation flowed. You saw that the hiring manager's face just lit up when you walked in the room. The energy was really great. The feedback after the interview sounded really, really encouraging. And, you know, you shake hands, thank you very much. And you walk away from that and you already feel a sense of, I know this is mine. In some cases, actually, you guys felt that as soon as you applied for that job or before you even applied for that job, right? So I think we've all been in that position. Now, when we've walked away out of that interview room, we haven't got the official call back yet. We haven't officially been given a contract to sign. We don't officially have the job. However, internally, you're already there. You've already got it. You're not pretending to work there. You're not getting on your social media telling everybody about your new life prematurely before it's even happened. You're not acting like you're a desperate actor in a play right now. No, I feel it. I know it on the inside. And because of that, the kind of behaviors that I'm going to exhibit and the kind of thoughts and feelings I'm going to have in relation to that desire is an excitedness, an expectancy, an overall positive feel for it. I'm probably going to maybe reorganize my week in anticipation of my new job or my new schedule. I might even look through my wardrobe and start to see, do I have the right kind of outfits to fit in? What am I going to wear on my first day? You know, you might exhibit these sorts of behaviors, but how you feel internally is essentially how do you feel? You kind of feel like calm, don't you? It's that sense of certainty. I can almost already see that my name is going to be on that office door. So I'm not faking anything. I'm not causing myself a lot of anxiety and effort by telling myself I've got the job, I am working as this right now, I'm going to pretend it, and I'm going to put it on social media, and I'm going to tell my friends I have the job, but I don't have the confirmation yet. No, you will probably tell your friends the truth, like, yeah, it went really well. I haven't got it yet, I haven't heard anything yet, but it went really well and I feel pretty positive about it. Because simply what it is in an internal state is that I'm already in possession of that position. I've got an internal knowing. It's already done, even though it's not seen yet in the physical reality. I don't need that confirmation. I don't need the physical reality to tell me I've got the job. I've already accessed that feeling, that knowing. Do you get me? Does that make sense? So you're not sort of anxiously like refreshing your email or checking your phone every time to see if you've got the job, and you're not actively trying to manifest the job anymore. You've already shifted into a version of you that already has it. That's embodiment. That's what it is. Do you see? It's not delusion. It's not fake. There's nothing fake about it. It's very natural, right? So with that in mind, if there's anything you take away from this, remind yourself, okay, it's not about manipulating the outside. I'm never manipulating the outside. If you're affirming or scripting or trying to change and micromanage the outside, if you're doing it for those reasons, then you've got it wrong. Even if you're imagining every little thing to try and change and micromanage, it's all wrong. That's what's keeping you exhausted, okay? You're always going within, because the outer reality is nothing more than a mirror that is always going to reflect your dominant state of consciousness. So if you don't like the reflection, don't waste your precious energy trying to smash the mirror, right? You want to change you, what's standing in front of the mirror, your consciousness, your assumptions, the state that you identify with as the moment. If you want your specific person to see you, to choose you, to love you, then you've got to, in your inner world, become that version who is already seen and chosen and loved and adored by them. It's the same with financial abundance. If you want financial abundance to flow in your life, then cultivate and embody the internal state. Don't be spending money like you're a millionaire when you don't have it. Cultivate the state first of knowing that feeling, of accessing that sensation of what it's like when all of your needs are met. You don't even have to worry about bills anymore. You're just a conduit for prosperity. Access that version of you, and then what happens naturally, like with the job scenario, you're not focused on the how, you're not focused on the when. I'm too busy immersed in this internal knowing. Does that make sense? Does that help you guys to understand why delusion and manifestation are not the same, and why this common misinterpretation of acting as if and living in the end that has often been connected with being Delulu and faking it, and Delulu is the Salulu, and all of that was going on at TikTok at the time that really confused me. It's not about that. Please don't force yourself to fake it, but just find that very calm, centered, confident and creative power within you. The creative power that genuinely is it from the inside? Go into the sacred temple of your own consciousness and go within there. All the answers, everything you need is within there. Ditch the exhausting charade of trying to fool the universe, or even worse, like trying to fool yourself on a consistent basis. That's not what it's about. You're not supposed to fight yourself. You're not supposed to fight your mind or fight the 3D reality. You're supposed to know who you are and what this is all about and why you're doing what you're doing in the first place. I really hope that this helps you guys out. If you need support, or you want to talk about the video, you want to ask me questions, we've got the Discord community. Come and join us there. Be supported. Be part of the family there as well. I love you guys. I appreciate you all. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. And I'll catch you in the next video.